Hello, hello, hello. Happy day, everyone. Welcome to Business Owner Burnout. I am Erica Kessie. I am your Thrive strategist, a love force with mysterious wisdom, your goal concierge. And I am joined here with Abby. Abby, introduce yourself.
Hello, everybody. Happy day. My name is Abby. I'm the owner of Queendom Empire. I offer virtual COO services as well as online business management and outsource virtual assistants for you. And last week we had a great discussion about recognizing the signs of burnout as a business owner. And I think we kind of wanted to continue on that because there was so many great points that was listed, really.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. I think that we could probably do that for whew, all of July. I mean, yeah. So definitely. So, how would you like to begin it, Abby?
Well, we can kind of pick up where we left off last week. Like I said, we had a lot of great points last week. A lot of it was we were talking about how to recognize it in yourself. You know, because for me and you, we said that we can see it in other people. Well, you had said that you can see it in other people, but you have a hard time seeing it in yourself. I try to. I try to. Sometimes I catch myself. Sometimes I don't do a great job at that. It's like I'll recognize it, but I don't slow down enough to acknowledge it. And
Yes.
I think that's a big thing too. Like, you know, people have a hard time acknowledging things about themselves in general, you know, anyway. And being burnt out, you know, sometimes, especially as business owners, especially as new business owners, we want stuff to work out so bad that we don't even give ourselves the grace to slow down to acknowledge it.
Yeah. That's a great point, Abby. Such a great point. I think that it takes slowing down. It takes reflection.
Hmm.
I mean, as for me, I had really got into working out in the morning, and I think that I had substituted that, working out. And I was doing, I would have to say, mental fitness by working out, listening to myself, um, run the steps or walk or um, and feeling my having that mental physical connection. But I stopped doing my 20-minute meditation.
Really?
Yeah.
When do you mind me asking, like, you know, how recent was how recent was that you stopped doing your 20-minute meditation?
I was actually, my whole morning routine was um the meditation.
Hmm.
It was stretching, meditation, working out, and then journaling. The journaling fell off first.
Mm.
hmm Then the meditation, because and I would have to say about a month ago. Yeah, because I got really seeing the effects of working out,
Uh-huh.
and knowing that if I'm getting up, like I have to get up early, even earlier, right?
Hmm.
To meditate for the 20-30 minutes. Then from there, go exercise. And so when I was exercising, I felt like, oh, I'm meditating. Like I'm meditating on the noise. I'm getting some epiphanies as I'm walking. I'm enjoying my mind body connection.
Hmm.
But and I thought that that was enough, but I recognize that it is not. So Um, yeah. So I just started it back up again.
So I can kind of okay, I can kind of point that out to kind of be what multitasking and a lot of well, I know I can multitask. Now there is a time for you to be good at it. You know, there is a time for you to multitask and stuff like that. But sometimes when it comes to the meditating and even the journaling, because journaling is important too, and it's so beneficial. I'm sitting here saying it's beneficial. I don't even make the time to do it. I'm just going to be
Right.
honest with you. I don't,
Right.
you know. But
Like,
it
you
is.
know what I need, Abby? Like, and I think that people who are listening to this would appreciate this, because if I am doing it with others, like if it is, for example, we do the mom co-working group together. We do, and I have another a meeting that I do with people. If I had a journaling group, like a group that I, you know, every week, that's the goal. But we sit together, we journal. Because I'm extroverted, it just works well for me to be doing it with others. Doing every like well, actually the exercise, I got burnt with trying to exercise with people. I don't exercise with people because people don't know how to act. So, but I don't people don't know
I
how
don't
to act.
exercise with people either.
I don't, because everybody just with that. I got a long story. I don't want to tell the whole that's not something we need to be talking about. But as far as journaling, because like doing I did this, oh my goodness, this sparks an idea, but I've been told myself I was gonna stop doing these ideas. I did this thing where I had
No, no,
a
no. Let me put a pin in that. Just write it down. Just write it down.
it's a
Ideas are
it's a
great to
it's a re it's a replay of something that I did before. And so I can easily just pull it out and put it out there again. It was a journaling challenge. Like, I was trying to get into journaling, and so then I was putting out journaling prompts, right? And I was
okay.
and it was a challenge. Like, everybody, hey, here's your prompt for the day. Write in your journal. Once you finish your journaling for the week, send a picture of the last page of the journal, and so to verify that you actually did it. And then whoever journals for that month, you enter to win, right? Something. And so I tried to incentivize. I only had one person do it, so that's the only person that won. um
Mhm.
I did this other thing and that's how I got into napping. I got into napping because I did another challenge that I put out there, and I was like, this is the napping challenge. Everybody has to nap, and then once you get up from your nap, journal to reflect on the nap and reflect on, before getting up and doing something else, journal. It doesn't have to be long. And then take a picture of the journal, or take a picture of yourself getting it, laying in the bed, or, like napping.
Mhm.
And I actually had a profile picture of myself with my like sleep mask for a long time, because I was getting myself into napping. Now let me tell you, I got into it. Like, I really did. I got into it. I've been napping since it's been about 2.5 years now, and I really do feel like it really helped me to develop into who I am now.
Yeah, and I can definitely see where it could. I don't know. Okay, so for me, I have to figure out my move because when I journal, I will sit there and write 4 or 5 pages at a time, especially if I haven't journaled for a very long time. I used to have a book of thoughts that I'm actually trying to get from paper to actually my drive and stuff like that, because I would just have random like epiphanies, random thoughts, random quotes and stuff like that that would come to my mind, and I would write them down. I don't do that. I don't do that anymore. I don't, like I said, I don't journal like I really should anymore. But I did want to finish my thought real quick. But going back to the meditation and stuff, it's good to when you're working out, you can still meditate while working out, but still have that time to meditate, because just like the journaling that we're talking about, meditation is very beneficial as well, because it makes you slow down. It makes you just be still in that, in that moment. Same thing with journaling. That's how you're, describing it when um, you had that a nap thing. I think that was prior to you and I meeting, and things like that, because you said you've been napping for a couple of years now. But I mean, just making yourself, just be in the moment. We were talking about that last week too. Just being, and how it's something that really sounds so simple, but it's really challenging for a lot of people. It really is. It sounds like you work better when people hold you accountable
Yes.
to that kind of thing. Yeah.
Yes. I mean, yes. I think we talked about it last week how I didn't even recognize that it was burnout until you mentioned it, and then it was confirmation from a client that I missed the appointment that there was burnout. And so um yeah, it was just yeah, I did not, just running. Just running. That's what it is, just running. And somebody needs to be like, "Hey, wait a minute. Seems like you're running a lot. Let's what's going on with your, like, this is what I do with my clients. Like, I'm like, okay, so what's going on with your routines?
Mm-hmm.
You know, and when you really think about it, going back, I didn't even, like, not until right now, I'm talking about it right now, that I said, yeah, I stopped doing this routine. I stopped doing the things that I know that will create the beginning of my day so that it flows and it's not a running that I'm doing. Um so yeah, getting back to the meditation. And actually, I just had someone say to me, "Oh yeah, journaling." And so I actually had a meeting earlier today with a lady that I have meetings with every Wednesday morning. It's called Drinking in Success. I've been doing that with her for, oh my goodness. I think I was doing it with her. It was before I started napping. Anyway, and so we meet, and um I always pull out my planner to kind of think through what I'm doing. And I have this beautiful, amazing planner that comes in the mail. Every It comes in the mail. I have it on Amazon Audio. It it automatically comes for
Mm-hmm.
me to do my 90-day planning. And this sucker is not being filled in. Like, and it has every day time space for you to journal every day. So I just have to get back to doing it and sitting still and doing it. Yeah. But what I was doing also, I found myself doing a lot of, was like writing down my progress with my working out. Like, I was like, okay, I did do my high intensity training. I did do my this and that. So I was monitoring my exercise in the journaling, right?
Mm-hmm.
Um, so yeah, I think something that I do with my clients. I always go back to my clients because I mean I do all this stuff with my clients. It'd be some great stuff, right? um, is I ask them, tell me how you're doing physically, mentally, emotionally, spiritually, and that's a great way. I feel like to just, I mean, at least put two or three lines on each one of those. Maybe one or just a sentence, or maybe just like what's going on physically, like checking in physically, mentally, emotionally, spiritually, like all those components. Where are you? you know?
Yeah. And I think for people just starting out, when it comes to, when it comes to the journaling or even just meditation, if you just, take 15 to 30 minutes, just start out with something small. So just carve out 15, 30 minutes every week, you know, and sit there and write whatever it is. I used to write whatever it is that was on my mind. Um, whatever I felt like I needed to dump out on paper or just get out of my mind, and just, um,
That's funny because I have a friend, her name's Erica. She's in New York and she has this thing called yellow on paper.
yeah,
Yeah, it's called yellow on paper. So she says your emotional intelligence coach.
okay,
And so she has this thing called yellow on paper. So she gets people together and journal. She gives prompts and you just kind of write, you know, basically getting out your frustrations.
yeah, that has helped me too when I needed that, or even like even when I just get overwhelmed with stuff. But I would start out small. So I mean, like it just 15 to 30 minutes a day, once a week. If you do that, that's an accomplishment. That's a start, right?
Oh yeah.
So, and maybe that would help clear your mind, and help eliminate some of that, or clear up, I should say, maybe some of that burnout, because we talked about last week too. Depression is one of the telltale signs of burnout because it affects so many areas and it becomes like a domino effect, right? So, um, being able to have an outlet or an outsource, of some sort to just get all of those, thoughts, whether they be overwhelming thoughts or even just being overwhelmed with ideas that you want to get started, right? Because especially business owners have so many great ideas to get started, and you're especially one of them.
I you know how some people say, no new friends, right?
Right.
My no new ideas. Or maybe I should say no no new launching of ideas. How about that?
Well,
No new launching.
I wouldn't even say that. Just pace yourself, because trying to do it too quickly that would lead to burnout. But definitely write it down and then come back to it. There's nothing to say that you can't do that. You know, I mean, I guess that would be where a little um, patience would have to come into play.
Yes. You know
You
what?
know,
You are correct. You are correct. Can we talk about environment?
yes,
Because business owner burnout has a lot to do with your environment. Like if you do not feel like you can slow down, you can nap, you can like if you haven't given yourself that permission, right?
yeah,
If you haven't said that I am going to adamantly take control of my time and of my well-being, right? If you
yeah,
have not said to yourself, you know what? I see myself slipping here. Or even have people say to you, because I mean, it didn't take me. That's all you had to do was say something. And I was like, oh, okay. I mean, I had to have my social support system and safe people around me who I respected. Mm, I got to say it one more
yeah,
time. Who I respected
yep,
to check me.
yeah,
So there's a lot of components to this. Like
hmm
I, I had to be in the right environment to be able to even. make that change quickly and rebound quickly to start working on my burnout so that I don't get burnt out, right? I
Yeah.
needed, but I also needed a social support system to say something, right? I needed myself to be coachable, right? I needed myself to even know what to do and what to get back to. I
Yeah.
mean, there's a lot to this. There is a lot
So so let me ask then, because I know we only have a few more minutes and stuff. But what would be um in your like what when we talk about environments and things like that? What would be a negative environment? What would be examples of that?
Oh, okay. So when you when you have built around you people who have an expectation that you serve them,
Mm-hmm.
that you that you that 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 and they're so accustomed to you always being everything and doing everything, and you don't know, and you don't have boundaries, and you haven't delegated. So then they have an expectation, and I say that you've built monsters around you that are expecting you to continue to deliver on what you have set up for them to think that that's how it's supposed to be, right?
Yeah.
And then trying to break that cycle, that's hard, right? Because then
It
they
can
think you
be because
mean,
it really takes a
they think you
backbone.
selfish. What'd you say?
Yeah, because it really takes a backbone to break that cycle. So I can see why you would say,
Ooh,
because
speak.
I mean, if you have that backbone and it takes a decision, and this is what I tell people, with a lot of times it's like it's as simple as a decision. Simple.
Listen.
Either this is what you're gonna do, either you're gonna take care of you, or you're gonna continue to allow yourself to feel this way. So when
Mm.
you decide that you're not going to keep putting yourself through this, you start making the necessary steps, and those become easier, like having a
You
backbone
know,
and putting up
it
boundaries.
I'm glad that you mentioned it's a domino effect. It is a domino effect in either direction. You can either continue down the road of what you've always done or what you've seen to be what has always happened, or you can just decide to hit the domino the other way and see how you can get some traction with it going the way that you really want it to be. But I think it all goes back to sitting with yourself and curating what you want your life to look like. Like you're going to have to sit down. You're going to
Mm-hmm.
have to sit down and say, this is what it should look like. This is what satisfaction and clarity and or a rejuvenating environment looks like, feels like,
Yeah.
and then you create it. But if you haven't sat down to figure that out, then it can be a very, very overwhelming.
Oh yeah, for sure, for sure. Well, are there any other telltale signs, like, since we had it between this conversation this week and last week's conversation? I'm gonna kind of let you wrap us up here, because I know it's 11:30. But are there any other, like, huge telltale signs that you want to make sure that they get pointed out or called out?
Um, I think,
Because I'm sorry, go ahead.
yeah, I think that when you're a business owner, it's really important for you to not be the chief everything officer.
Okay, I can already hear some people now saying, "What do you mean?"
Yeah. CEO, chief everything officer. You
Mm-hmm.
cannot be a solopreneur. You need to delegate. You have to have staff and people who are working with you. You need followers. You need support. You need business besties and co working groups and maybe even incubators or accelerators. You need a support. So as much support, I think you need more support around you than you actually doing the activities of your business.
Yeah.
I think people get bogged down with doing the activities or the working in their business, that they're not working on their business, and working on their business means they have the support around them to actually work in their business.
Mm-hmm.
Then they finally look up from working in their business and they think, I'm overwhelmed. I'm burnt out. But if they had just stopped for a moment and got support around them, then it will be easier to go further and longer and have sustainability with their business.
Right. Right. I completely agree with that because I mean, like I said earlier, with it being the domino effect, it affects your mentality. It affects you as a person. It affects when you start getting affected personally. It starts affecting your business, and it comes out in your business and your deliverables or whatever it is that you do. Your customer service, whatever it is that you do, it all starts coming out, and then that will pour into your reputation and turn into a reputation that you don't really want to have if you keep allowing that to happen. So, you know, um, it's really important to have that support that you're talking about.
Yeah, like that's definitely the solution. I know we were talking about telltale signs, but I'm glad that you mentioned, like, these are things that's happening when you have customer complaints, when you have missed appointments, when you have um you're you're not proud of what you've done.
Mm,
Recently I had a situation where I got a hired a designer to work with me. It was not the best circumstance. It was not the best situation. Okay, I'll tell you that it was not.
mm-hmm.
And um, they sent a message to me and was like, I didn't like how that all worked out. I would like to figure out how we can make this, fix it, and make it better. And I understand her. I think I understand her better than she knows that I do. Because
Mm-hmm.
there was a point in the process, like I was just like, you know what? I'm too tired to run after you. Like I'm too tired to help you to serve me better.
Mm. Yeah.
And so I just this was like, it's fine. And I just created my own. I just did. It was a designer, and I went ahead and designed my own thing.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so, um, but I am gonna give her a chance to make up for it because I understand, because I've had people help allow me to make up for slips.
Right.
And I think that some people think that if you if you don't do the very best, but people will give you grace. They will.
Right.
But they're not going to keep giving you grace, right? Like you should learn from that. Learn from this circumstance. For example, I had a client, when the one that I missed the appointment, we had a
Mm-hmm.
conversation, and I told them, I said, listen, this doesn't work for me. Like this time, what we're doing, the cadence, it doesn't work for me. All my other clients are every other week. All my other clients, see me at every other week and for an hour, not every week for 30 minutes. So it does not work for me. I needed, I mean, yes, I take ownership for not showing up for you. But I also want to say thank you. Thank you so much for your understanding of what that was there. Thank you for allowing me to see you. I also have to say, though, I need for me to be able to serve you best, for you to be on a bi weekly cadence that is an hour.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Yeah. Well, I think we've covered some more ground with recognizing the signs of burnout. Like you said, we could probably talk about this, all of July. So I'm excited to see what
yeah, I
we
think what I
discuss
would
next
like,
week.
yeah, I think what I would like to do is I'm gonna put. So this is gonna go out live, okay? Well, it is
Hmm.
live right now, and
Yeah.
I'm gonna just put some posts in on your and my accounts, asking people the question, asking people, can you recognize burnout in you and others, and
Yeah.
get and see what people say. Like, what does
Hmm.
burnout look like in you? Like, I think that people don't talk about this. I think that we need to be able to recognize that what it looks like for you. So then you can, when it does happen, like this is great self-awareness. When it does happen, you can do something about it.
Right, right. And so that's one thing I wanted to say because obviously was going to ask you for this recording too, so I can put it up in my places because I can only stream on one platform at a time right now. So trying to get it up on YouTube. But yeah, just if anybody if you're listening to this and you've enjoyed and you can relate, as I'm sure most people can, drop in the comments what signs you have or what you've been able to recognize about yourself or in other people, about burnout and stuff. And let's have a conversation around it because, like Erica said, it's not talked about enough. It isn't. And we need to, it's important to, so that it can help, we can better take care of ourselves, and
Yeah,
better
I
support
mean,
each other in this.
yeah, because the thing is, there's so many different people talking about burnout. Like, people are talking about burnout, right? But there is like this person that comes on and then they are talking about burnout, but they're not asking people to look at themselves, right? And
Right,
say, what, let's look at this. What is it? How does it show up in you, right? Like,
right.
what does it look like so that you can be clear?
Yeah,
And it
absolutely.
makes me here come another idea, Abby. It makes me want to do a little questionnaire. Like, I have the Thrive plan, right?
Hmm.
So, I mean, I could have say, okay, I missed an appointment with a client. That's the conflict. What is the response that I had? What sensation showed up inside of me? So basically, I could take that issue that was a symptom of burnout and take it through the Thrive plan. Yes, I could do that. But I think sometimes that's too, like, it's probably best for me to say, hey, take this quiz to see if what's your signs of burnout, um, would be something that could be done. Aaliyah, hey Aaliyah, I'm happy you're here. Yes, self-awareness is important. Okay, let me just put up Aaliyah comments here. And then also Aaliyah said, looking at burnout in a new way. Like, I thought as long as I can keep going and decide by X date I'm doing XYZ for personal things, I did not have burnout. But through this convo, understanding I should have energy for everything. I want to do every day, not until a certain date. Yes,
Mm-hmm.
always saw as time management issue, but I can see this as part of is burn this I can see this as part or is burnout. Definitely could lead to full blown burnout for sure though. Yes.
Amen. Yeah,
Oh
amen.
please.
Because see, we haven't talked. I don't even think we touched on time management before, so that would be a
No.
great place to start next week because that is an issue, and I've always thought that I've had an issue with time management because of that. Aaliyah, you are absolutely right, and that's gonna be a great place for us to start next week. I mean,
Oh
because
my goodness, it's so good.
amazing.
Right.
Yeah,
You are right. People think it's time management, but it's actually energy
yeah,
because you can put all the things on all the things you want to do on your calendar, but does it inspire you? If it inspired you, if that action inspired you, then you would not be burnt out
yeah.
because it actions that you're inspired, you don't get burnt out from that.
Right, right.
Yeah. And it's just it's really a lot of, it really is takes a lot of care. You really taking some time and just really trying to care, not trying, thinking and curating a life of care for yourself. And I know that that's not what we are taught to do. We're taught to serve. We're taught to serve. Yes, do
Mm-hmm.
something, be something, do something, right? But no, we got to take a step back and just look at what will serve us as we move along. We already are so like, I mean, you don't know, Abby, you don't know Aaliyah, but baby, she is she is amazing. Okay. No, and I'm not saying that for play. I don't say that to people about people. Like I'm for real. I'm a for real person. You know that Abby. I'm not gonna say it
Mm-hmm.
unless it's for real. She
Right.
is phenomenal. She works with me with Booming You and she keeps it together. Like I don't know if other people acknowledge and know this, but she does keeps it together. Like she is Johnny on the spot, like highly responsive. That's what I have to say. People who are highly responsive need to sometimes maybe not be so highly responsive. I'm speaking of a person that's highly responsive. So anyway, but she is the captain of the ship. She is, and I know you know what that's like, Abby.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Oh
she
yeah.
she is she's phenomenal. She is phenomenal. I know that the lady who's over Booming You knows that. Okay. I don't yeah, Aaliyah is amazing. But I will say, Aaliyah, I'm glad that you're here because you come into that epiphany and understanding about burnout is so important. Having the energy. You should have the energy to do all of the wonderful things that you want to do, and that including all the things that you love to do. That you love to do. Because they actually, our lives are supposed to be filled with more of the things that we love to do than the things that we have to do. Yes.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
Or the
absolutely.
things or the fires we're putting out, right?
Mm-hmm.
Or or being responsive to somebody because something happened. That it's supposed to be limited of that. We're supposed to be doing more of what we love to do. So I'm just so happy that you said that, Aaliyah, that you came and you commented. I really appreciate you coming and saying this very, very powerful comment that you put up here. But you all, Abby, this has been great. Business owner
Of course.
burnout. We're gonna
Mm-hmm.
hop over to our other space. We're about to go talk about now. Um, how imposter syndrome causes burnout. So we're gonna hop over and do that, and we will see. You all can come and check out that if you would like to. If not, you all have a great
Yes,
rest of
please
your day.
come.
We'll
Please
come
come.
back.
That is going to be from 11:45 to 12:15 every week, and then this one we will be back next week at 11 o'clock from 11 to 11:30. So we do both of these events weekly and all that good stuff. So Aaliyah, I hope to see you back. It was a pleasure to be able to talk to you and hear all about you. So now I got to go find you on LinkedIn. So
Yeah, you
give me
better go find her. Y'all need to be connected. She's a, yeah, she's a, I actually, just to be honest, and I don't know if she knows this, but I be scoping folks out, you know what I'm saying? Just like I scoped you out, Abby. I be
yeah.
scoping people out. Like when I get hooked up with people and be like, man, oh my goodness. And then I start thinking in my mind, I want to work with this person. Now I already work with Aaliyah, but I'm talking about like she worked with me, like with my business. I know we
Mhm.
already worked in a, but I was like, let me figure out how I can work with her because
Yeah.
she's one of them. She's a good one. Okay. Like, yeah, like I would love to have her on the Your Gold Concierge team. She's a great one, and I don't want everybody who hears this later be like, "Let me go find her." Aaliyah, you're gonna have people clamoring, trying to come
Probably, but
work
hey,
with
nothing
you.
wrong with that, right? You know, as long as they're
Ain't
the
nothing
right
wrong with
people.
that. Ain't nothing wrong with that. Yes, she will. She's gonna connect with you on LinkedIn, and you all definitely need to know each other because you're both like rock stars. I actually don't mess with people at this point. I used to mess with some whole lot of riffraff, and let me not call these people riffraff, but I used to mess with some folks who was just not. But now I mess with people who are superior. You know, like that's just a part of what I want to people to be in my life are people who are superior. And I'll have to say, Abby, you're superior, and
Oh,
Aaliyah, you're also very superior, and I appreciate just you all. I know we got to stop. I got to stop. We got to go to this other thing. But I want to say, I had a client say to me, I'm so happy that you exist. And I looked at them like they were weird when they said that to me. Like, what? You were happy that I exist? But then, you know what? I have to say that about both of you. I'm happy that you all exist. Yes.
oh, well, I'm sure Leah it can agree with me when I say we are happy that you exist as well. Seriously, I mean, we appreciate you. So,
Yes, I appreciate y'all. Okay, anyway, I just love this. I just love when we get to be thinking, being grateful.
oh
We're
yes,
grateful, okay? But people like us, we get burnt out. We get burnt out because we love to serve. We love people. We love to serve. We love to be excellent, right? And so
hmm
then guess what? We get burnt out because we want to be excellent. Yes. And so we got to be careful about that, right? Because only certain people deserve our excellence.
yes,
Yes. And we must care for ourselves because the first person that needs our excellence is us. Yeah.
yes.
So I'm gonna leave it on that note. Bye everybody.
Bye. See you next week.
Yes.